yeah, so we were talking about how like Summit is changing and that the company might be struggling a little bit. And Carl actually at this event that I was at in Tampa, that it was a live event, super amazing. Carl flew down, and of course, he's the CEO of the company. And then there was Christina Delgado and her sister Becky were speakers there, and Julie Voris and Nicolette something or other, um, and super amazing speakers. But it was this really tiny room that I just happened to be like literally sitting next to Julie Boris and Becky just because of the way the room was set up and how small people were in there. I'm actually glad I didn't buy a VIP ticket because my seat was closer than like the VIPs. And it was crazy. But Carl stood
Or
up,
give me a
and so
kiss.
this CEO of the company, and he's like, I used to
Give me a big
be
old hug.
a billionaire.
Give me a big
And
kiss.
he was like, I was like a billionaire for a day, a week, and
What did
then
you
I
say
lost
to
it.
me? A very
And so when he was talking about, he said that um um the rooms that we were in, if you would go to this live event like years ago, it would have been packed with people. And so just how quaint the event was really spoke volumes to where the business is currently at and where the company is currently at and just where partners are at and this opportunity. And he said the day before the event, that he had a interview with somebody from like a Fox News station that was asking him about the company, and he said all of a sudden they put up the stocks of Team Beachbody, the company, and they were like, okay, so you started here and it's plummeted, like they literally showed this graph of the stocks plummeting, and they said, Carl, what are you going to do about it? And he was like, I am the CEO. It's my job to take it from here to here to here. He's like, it's my job to get it back to where we were. And he said he's absolutely confident that he can do that and that we can do that and the passion behind it. And then that's where it kind of gave into this narrative of, I don't give up. And then how strong that was. And if anybody saw, I posted on Facebook, and that was something that I really took to heart was I don't give up. That through all of these changes and all of these different adversities, people are going to show up and they're going to work with you and they're going to do these things because they see that through the adversity, through whatever happens, that you don't give up. That Abby, through your whole pregnancy, Jesse, Corinne, Carla, through all of the stuff, Morgan, that we don't give up. And that's bigger than anything, that this is our job and the consistency truly does pay off. So Carl spoke to kind of where the company's at, where the downsizing. He didn't deny it at all and really dug deeper into that, that he is devoting, that this is his job to maintain the company, all of it. And that's really where the changes in the compensation planning, you can even hear how Christina Delgado was talking about like how much money that the top partners would get for their bonuses, that it was like stupid amounts of money and in just one paycheck, and that this new compensation plan changes that for them, but that's okay because they understand that this stupid amount of money needs to be dispersed and they're happy that it's happening that way and those types of things. So, just like that little bit to talk about kind of what Carl said, address the elephant in the room, that it was a small event. I was super thankful for it, but I think it was quite eye-opening for a lot of people there. It was not like a well put on thing. Nobody could figure out the technology, so that was hilarious too. Like you could tell Christina and Becky and Julie kind of got irritated that like the clicker wasn't working and they're not used to that. But so the next thing, there's like a few takeaways that I really got from this event. And one of them is an actionable item that I've been like harping to Abby since I got back from this event. And it was an immediate change that I've done in my business and my strategies. And so in the in the videos, if you go back, if you haven't watched what I've shared in the Team Phoenix Facebook page, I shared every single one of the speakers' entire live talk from start to finish. And so you have all the access. So I'm not going to say it as great as them and not going to repeat all the things, but I don't have to. You can hear it directly from them too. But what I think it was Nicolette, and I can't remember her last name. If one of you guys know it, you can say it. But um, when she was talking, she talked about inviting and really building the connections and broke down the differences, which I can't believe it was like a light bulb for me, but it was such a big light bulb for me of differentiating, inviting, connecting, and conversations that you first connect, and a connection is not an invite, that they have to be separate, and then there's the conversation in the middle. And I just kind of, and then furthermore, before I get to that, is the follow-up. A follow-up is not an invite. And that one blew my mind too, because I always put follow-ups in invites of, okay, when I'm inviting, I'm going back to invite the same person that I've invited 10 times. No, that's a follow-up. And they talk about this idea of having 10 in play. 10 in play is the 10 people that you are actively connecting with and inviting with. So the people that you are engaging and building rapport, which is the connection, and then the actual invites. And an invite is not a follow up. The 10 in play is not the people that you're going back that said, like, I have a person that says they're going to get the total solution package on the 13th. That's not a 10 in play. That's a follow up, which was mind blowing to me that that doesn't count. The 10 in play is the 10 new people that you're revolving into your ecosystem, that you're either building rapport or making the initial invite. So, yeah, breaking that down into categories of connecting, inviting, and then follow ups was huge for me. And I don't know if anybody else needed that differentiating or maybe didn't think of it that way, or maybe it's just me. But yeah, that was huge. And even they say they don't have to be like to get from the connection to the invite, it doesn't have to be this drawn out thing, but it does have to be a very intentional step by step. And so, something that I was getting lost in, again, they're very simple things, but it was like a light bulb moment for me, was during that connecting. So on the business activity tracker, of course, there's the go and follow 10 new people. You follow and build your connections. But I follow the people and then they follow me back, and it takes a while maybe, and I forget even what I followed them on. So the initial connection can just be, hey, I followed you because I saw we have this same thing in common. But literally, when you're following somebody, writing down what was that point that made you follow them, not just going on a page and following everybody, but noting that and then going back and initially starting that connection, which I don't, I usually I follow them and I might go and like their story and like do things slow that way. But being intentional about, more intentional about the people that I follow, and then immediately paying attention for their follow back to then send that connecting conversation to build the rapport based on how we connected. And so there have been people just since this event that I've gone back to my following and done that. I've seen if they followed me back and said, "Hey, I just wanted to reach out. Thank you for following me. For the new year, my intention is being more social on social media and getting to know people." And literally left it at that and have started true communication with people who legitimately followed me back that I don't remember. Like, I'm going to their page and I'm like, why the heck did I follow this person? I don't know. So that's going to be a key point for me, is like really writing down why I followed them. What was the point initially? And then, yeah, so I've already started those true connections. But even on the business activity tracker, if you look at it, it's like dumbfounded. But you look at it, connecting, inviting, and following up are three separate categories on there. I just combined them all into one in my head of, okay, if I'm engaging with these people, that means I'm doing the inviting and connecting and following up. But yeah, separating those. So before I go on to sort of the next topic, any thoughts on that?
I like that you said this because I know some of the partners are like, I just like to get right to it. And like, I even think it was like Erin Hopkins, maybe, but she's like, I hate that little like chit chat. And I know you're kind of like that, Becky, but I like that you feel good doing this way. It's not like fake. It's literally like, hey, thanks for connecting. Like, this is why. And I don't know if this helps anyone, but I normally follow and then I have like a running list on my people that I follow myself. So I go to people I'm following on Instagram. You can sort it to the latest people you've followed. And then I just have a running list of where I stop. So I can, like, if I forgot or didn't catch that they followed me back, or I followed them and they didn't follow me back, I'll go in and send them that connecting message. Not right away, not like the next day, but like maybe a few weeks later. And that at least kicks it off. And then if they don't answer, they don't answer. But if they do, that could be my 110 in play. That's how I understand it, at least. But yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And so really the even just the 10 in play, really like that idea shifted my perception so much, because I would have up until this point counted the person that told me that this Friday was the day as one of my 10 in play. And that is not it. That's my follow up. And now I need to fill that spot and fill that spot and fill that spot. So yeah, that was huge for me. Again, I believe that was Nicolette that was talking, and it's really powerful. But my thing is, I always say I'm going to create lists, but right now I have a lit like writing down that I'm going to write lists of people who accepted my friend request, or people that I invite, or two people that I invite to the accountability groups or opportunity. And then another list of my follow ups, where before all three of those were combined, of just like I talked to this person, this person, this person, but they're very different lists that need to be delegated. And and again, on that, she legitimately gave like different speaking points of how to invite people. Are you open to hearing more and stuff like that? So definitely go listen if you didn't. The other topic outside of inviting is what Julie Voris talked about. That was huge for me in the concept of the power of the program. And she really harped on that. And that's something that I would love for our team. So, if there's one action that our team takes from this, I would love for us to come into the Elevate gym and put a post of what was your first program, first body program, and how did it change your life? I mean, it changed all of our lives. That's why we're still here. That's why we're continuing to go to program to program to program. But Julie Voris talked about how She was a partner, and I'm going to screw up these dates. So, again, you can go listen to the true narrative if you haven't already. But she started as a partner in, let's just say, for conversation's sake, 2008. And yeah, Jesse, cool.
I literally just listened to that part like a couple hours ago. It says 2008, and then she didn't do her first program till 2014.
Yeah, yeah. So that's huge. And she didn't do it because Abby, kind of similar to, like, I compared it to your story a little bit of having your own personal training and doing your own workouts and your own fitness routine, and she just didn't have time and energy to add a program in. She's like, I'm already doing these things. I don't have enough. And so she might do like a clip here and a thing here just to like promote the stuff, but didn't actually truly do a program from start to finish, yeah, until 2014. But when she did, all of her limiting beliefs dissipated, all the reasons why she said she couldn't do a program, she she debunked all of the immediate changes in her body, the transformation, the getting people involved, all of this elevated. And it's really the power of the program and how the programs change people's lives. And I know I have my story about Lift 4 being my first program and how that one changed my life. And I've done that over and over again. And I had my limiting beliefs before Lift 4, and now I'm umpteenth programs in. But I think it would be really powerful for all of us to go in the Elevate Gym and to have one post where we talk about our first program and really emphasize the power of the program and get that motivation back, and we can share that with people and share that with our community. But yeah, so I think that was really powerful. Also, she talked a lot about just belief in the programs, belief in the company, belief in yourself. And that's huge. I know Jolie Boris is honestly part of the reason that I got the Growth Day app, because I follow her and I see her morning routines, and she's so freaking like just motivating all the time. And I'm like, that's who I want to be, but a little less like hard shell. She's intimidating a little bit. But so she talked about her Growth Day routine and her affirmations. And I think affirmations about this business, what this business does, what our workouts do, saying those regularly to ourselves is so important. And Christina Delgado, jumping to her, she was saying, what do we always say? Like, why do we do this business? And we hear it all the time. And I've heard it so many times on our team call too. I've said it myself, is why do we do what we do? All I want to do is help people. I want to show up and help people. And helping people is not a strategy. Helping people is not a business. Helping people isn't going to get you to your goals. So you have to be more specific in your affirmations and your why and how you show up and what you tell people you do and what we do, how we work out, how we feel. And yeah, so all of that was huge, really pouring in and jumping on this mindset piece. Becky, and I can't say her last name, I don't know how you pronounce it, but she's Christina Delgado's sister, and it's like Bass, yeah. If anybody knows. Anyway, so she spoke about how she is Brendan Burchard's #1 student, and that mindset and specifically the Growth Day app has changed her life. And she went into this really just being lost at rock bottom. And her limiting beliefs and narrative is, this business is over for me. all the young moms are the ones that are succeeding now. She's in her 50s and she's like, this isn't for me. I'm not going to make any more money from this. All of these limiting beliefs. And then she went to Brendon Bouchard, and one thing that she heard, and she just takes everything he says and does it. And he said, successful people journal. And she was like, done. So I started journaling. And she has journaled every day since. And it was all of her mindset and the limiting beliefs and really pouring in to everything that personal development has to offer and how important that is. So really honing in on the mindset because that comes first for everything else. And so for me, that's another thing is, yes, I've been doing, and she talked about, and we've all been there, of like listening to, she said, if we looked at her Audible account, which same, and Jesse, I know for a fact you're the same, of like, we have all the books and all the things, but she would listen to them while walking her dog, while doing the things, while doing the dishes, while driving, whatever, and just half listening and not even really taking in the information that she needed to. And so being really intentional with the work and things that you do. And so for me, yes, I'm doing the daily fire. Yes, I'm listening to all of the things in growth day, but it actually wasn't journaling. The journal part just frustrated me. There's 10 questions every day. 10's a lot. And that's only the morning. There's evening ones that I haven't touched. And afternoon ones. But I decided when I heard that, and it's not the first time I've heard it, but I just made the decision after this live event that I'm going to make some changes. And then going back to what Holly's plan was of the 10-12 week year or whatever that is, and really being intentional on changing things week by week. The things that I'm changing this week is I'm journaling in the Growth Day app because successful people journal. And I am changing the way that I invite. And this was the thing. So this is another thing about the inviting. Sorry, all over the place. Energy's flowing. That's where I'm at. But this is another thing that I told Abby, and I've been intentional about it this week. And again, going week by week, that 12-week year, and seeing how it goes. But when Julie Forrest was talking, I don't know, Jesse, if you heard this part, but she was doing kind of like the affirmations that she was asking people about their business. And a girl behind me raised her hand and was like, I have a question. And Julie was like, put a pin in it. And she's like, no, but it's relevant. She's like, put a pin in it. We'll talk about it later. Like, that's not the time for this. And the girl kept pushing. She's like, I really just need to get this out. I promise it's relevant. By this time, she's crying, the girl. And Joy's like, fine. So the girl's bawling behind me. And she said, if I only have 15 minutes in my day and it's to choose posting a story or a reel or whatever, or inviting, which do I do? And she's crying saying this. Like it's literally her just she's feels lost in this. And of course, the answer was inviting every single time. Christina Delgado turned around and said it while Julie was saying it at the same time, while everybody in the room was nodding. And that kind of got to be the narrative for the rest of that speech. And then even Christina took it into the next session of inviting comes first before anything else. And then when we were working out, Julie was like, put away your tripods. Nobody cares about your workout videos. And I kind of giggled at that too. But I am making a very intentional choice in these upcoming weeks to invite first before I post on my stories. That energy that I would come to my story and share my workout and my feelings and all of the thing. And I would trim my videos. I'd spend the whole like half hour after my workout just laying on my bench, trimming my videos and then posting the story and whatever. I'm inviting first, which means I'm not getting to posting my workouts maybe until midday. But I've gotten the inviting out of the way, and that's the most important part, and that was unanimous in the whole room. So that was huge for me, and I would challenge everybody to kind of look at that too and see how that feels, that inviting comes first. And even if you could get all of them done in the day, just prioritize that. Kind of put that mental note in your head of this is what takes those actions. So that was that. And let's see, anything else from there? I really think those are the biggest takeaways that I got from all of this. So, yeah, those are the takeaways. That's the changes. And yeah, I think Stephen really got a lot from it. He actually asked me at dinner tonight. He was like, "Who are those people that talked again?" And I know he went on it on Instagram and followed all of them. Like, it was really just impactful to see successful people in this business to show up and share. And there was one other person, and I didn't video her. I kind of feel bad that she was like, I do think she's very successful in this business, but she was like from specifically the Tampa Market Council. And she shared her own personal story. And it was that she was told she could never have kids again. She got pregnant at the age of 40. The pregnancy was really hard for her. She went into like liver failure, cardiac arrest, all of these things, was on total bed rest, had the baby. The baby's super healthy, was there at the event also, very cute. But after that, like the pregnancy almost killed her. And so she had to be on bed rest, like still hasn't even worked out to date. Was there, was doing well, but like hasn't been doing anything. And working out for her wasn't a chore. It was her wellness, her quality of life, what got her going through the day. So to not be able to do all of that was really like debilitating for her and just really depressing. But instead, she poured into personal development. She poured into the nutrition. She poured into what she could do. The mindset, when her mindset was in the trash, was so important for her. And so, what I got from this is like what I got from her talk is and actually, Abby, there was that thing that Holly Hilliard did the day before, and I only got listened to like little pieces of it. But what I got from that is to clearly state that our products and programs are customizable. Nobody wants a one size fits all. That something works for Abby is going to work for me because nobody knows my story and nobody knows what I'm going through. And the same thing with her of nobody has these lung issues and these cardiac issues and you can't tell me. But to really be able to tell people that we have customizable programs for their story and hear their needs is so huge. So you'll also see in my posts, I'm specifically using the word customizable because I'm not trying to treat everybody like a one size fits all. And I know that's not what we do, but our narrative might come across that way sometimes, just unconsciously. Even though we know there's something for everybody, people don't read it like that. So literally using the word customizable. And I shared part of her story in my space of like, there was this woman who was going through these chronic issues and there was something for her. So yes, that is really it this time. It was great. I had a blast. Bellamy had a blast. He still has balloons from the event, so we're still playing Keepy Uppy in the living room with balloons from the live event. And yeah, I'm super glad I went. I think Stephen is, and even Bellamy talks about the the workout with the people who spoke, the big workout. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing all that. I'm so glad you went. you were telling that story about that girl, and I'm like, I feel like I've heard this story before. It was in your post because I was like, what? I feel like I've heard this, but I think like everything you said, like my main like overarching thought is like what we do is so simple. Like this job is simple. It's just doing it. Like everything they said, like, yes, you have light bulb moments, you have clarity, and you have whatever, but it's all been in like our business activity tracker. It's all been there for us. It's just how we choose to approach it almost and seeing it from a different perspective because they're not doing anything different than like what we're doing. And I don't know how often, like, or how much time they put in each day, but I think that's the coolest thing. And they act like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but like they act like normal humans to everyone. And I don't know. I just think it's super powerful to find our own voice in this business. And I definitely think I was talking. So I still have to listen to two of them. I listened to Christina and Julie, but not Christina's sister or Nicolette. Um, but I was talking to Logan today, and it was right after listening to Christina's thing, and I was like, I have clarity, I have goals, I have this, and I sent you my goals and all that stuff, and it's just like we need to get excited about it, whatever that looks like for our like specific goals or like season of life. Like, what excites you about it, and then share it. People are gonna feel our energy no matter what, and maybe it is you're just going in detail with the program that works for you and sharing that we could find something that works for them. But I don't know, it was just like kind of what I needed, like watching those lives as well, because I felt like you almost feel like you get stuck in a rut or you're like alone and it's like, I need something. I'm like, oh, okay. Just that one little tip will be like, oh, I'm going to try that little shift for the 12-week year. And I want to start journaling as well. So that was one of the things I wrote down for myself as well. But I think if we just keep making these shifts and finding like what works for us, what feels right, what feels aligned, you're going to find your voice. You're going to help people. It's going to feel natural, especially if you fully believe in our products and programs. Like it should all flow. And I think we make it complicated and it doesn't have to be.
I completely agree. And in the journal prompts from today, just in growth day, so you know, like the prompts were one thing I can get excited about today is dot dot dot. I put team call. Here, I'm just gonna be vulnerable about all of it and share with you. And it says, and where did the rest of them go? Oh, okay. If one word could describe the kind of person I want to be, then the word is dot dot dot, and I choose it because dot dot dot. And I said genuine. I want to come across genuine, which is always my goal with my invites and engaging with others. Someone who needs me on my A game today is, and I wrote my ideal client. A situation that might stress me out or trip me up today could be, and the way I could best, the way my best self could deal with it is, and I wrote having a busy day and not being assisted by Steven and taking it one moment at a time and pouring into my mindset. And then someone I could surprise with a note, gift, or sign of appreciation is my friend Komal, who I used to share an office with when I worked at Pace. And then one action I can take today to demonstrate excellence or real value is journaling and sharing the importance of journaling. And I did not remember writing these at 7 in the morning, so I'm excited reading this. And it says, one thing I can do today that is a little out of my comfort zone is, I wrote, following up with my close friends and family in my warm market. I truly hate that because they're aware of what I do and always ghost me when I invite them, which hurts even worse than a stranger. And then if I was a high performance coach looking at my life at a high level, I would tell myself that I'm not truly taking the actions needed, but I have the passion. The big projects that I have to keep in mind that I want to take on, even if I can't act on them today, are creating courses and automated income. And I would know that today was a great successful if at the end of the day I said or felt like I can truly completed the business activity tracker and gave team call my all. Mic drop. I successfully completed everything on my journal. Anyway, so I do feel very happy reading that over. That's a sample of how intense the journaling is on the app, which is why I've not done it for some time because it's a lot. It's not just like say 3 things you're grateful for. And yeah, but that's that.
Do you think that like writing those things down in the morning gets your mind like set to then conquer it basically? Like even though you said you didn't remember, you like unconsciously like believe in yourself a little more because you just write it down, you're like, oh, okay. And you keep going about your day. But then it's like, I don't know, I believe in that stuff that it's like your
And
own
I feel
content.
like for me, I just like set goals for myself. Like, all right, I wrote this down. Now I have to do it. So I did text Como and I did invite one of my best friends who did ghost me. And I did do all of these things. And so, yeah. And you're right. Like, a lot of the stuff, like, I can't even believe I wrote give team call my all. But at that time in the day, I had 7 sessions today. That's a 7 hour day. And Bellamy's school got canceled because there inclement weather. So I was home with him all day solo, had to take him to speech therapy. Like I had this jam-packed day. And then my client before team call is pretty intense. She's great, but just the stuff she shares is a lot. So I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to come to this team call and share my passion and all of the things that I truly felt with all of you. So that's where I was at this morning. So the fact that I like got to that point and put the intention out there and didn't even really think about it, I do think is huge.
That's awesome. Well, I definitely recommend if you guys have time to listen to those. I've been listening while I work out, so I probably miss some pieces of it, but I get some really good pieces of it. But I would recommend it. I think it's coming from people who truly believe in this business, and that's what we need. But I think if you guys can brainstorm, I think an action for like going into this week would be like, what is one action you're going to commit to? Like Becky's committing to journaling and her invites before anything else. Like, what can you commit to? And then we can always adjust and see if it worked. If it didn't, do you need to change it up next week? But write it down. Like, literally, guys, it doesn't have to be fancy. I wrote mine on a half piece of paper that I ripped out of a notebook. So it's not pretty, but it's there in front of my face. But yeah, I think this was awesome. And we can keep chatting and sharing things, especially as you guys listen to them and have takeaways. Like, I think I texted Becky all my questions / takeaways, and I was like, wait, is this what she meant? Is this what's going on? So we're always there for that. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I am glad some of you guys were able to jump on and this storm wasn't so terrible, at least for most of us.
Agreed.
Any other thoughts from anyone else? All right. We will get off. I have one last thing I want to say. If you're pushing for diamond and you want to push for the diamond bonus that is new in our compensation plan, you need to hit diamond by February 21st so you can be qualified as diamond for 6 weeks to get the bonus in the quarter one. That's so possible. That's like, I didn't even count, but it's like a month and a half away, or a month and 10 days or something. So Becky's pushing, Brittany said she's pushing, I'm pushing Logan's Business Center. And if you guys want to push with us, we can do a fun chat or whatever. But that is so possible. And it just comes down to making sure you're inviting and connecting and following up, like Becky was saying, and being genuine. So that is our cutoff date if you want to push for that. If not, push for Emerald, push for whatever your goal is, helping one person a month, 3 people a month. Like, set that goal for yourself and know this new compensation plan is meant to help people who aren't like super successful in the business, as in like 15-star diamond. Like, everything that's been implemented benefits every single one of us on this call. So there's lots of exciting things. And if you have questions about that, we'll figure it out, because we're all trying to figure it out together. All right. Anything else? Awesome. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Thank you, Becky.